Oh, you know how remembering things is all hard and junk? Me too. I mean, I can't even remember my own birth. What's up with that? At least I thought it was hard to remember stuff until recently I started rewatching SpongeBob with Kylie because we found out the first 5 seasons are on Prime Video. And stuff got really weird. I started quoting every episode to myself. I knew every word to the episode. I was some Nickelodeon sleeper agent that got activated by the words, "Are you ready, kids?" As with most things that I enjoyed as a kid, I thought that I would just enjoy it being on, kind of as background noise, while, I could still feel the sweet embrace of that nostalgia, but I wouldn't really enjoy paying attention to it. I was wrong. The show is fucking hilarious. I don't know why, but it's funny. Maybe I was just missing punchlines as a kid, or maybe it's my garbage brain, but I don't remember the show being as funny as it is. Even little things like this.
Poor lad.
Or even when SpongeBob's trying to teach Squidward how to properly blow a bubble, and Squidward loses his mind and just starts screaming. It's just such a perfect representation of me trying to learn anything new that I just belly laughed at the scene. Combine that with the fact that I just giggled like a 10-year-old girl every time I saw something that had become a meme over the last 20 years, like the caveman SpongeBob, where he's freaking out, and I'm in love with the show all over again. Another thing that I've been noticing now that I didn't notice as a kid or didn't care enough to notice as a kid is the efficiency of the writing and the storytelling in this show. If you take out the intro song and the credits, there's only 11 minutes in an episode. And in that 11 minutes, they're able to tell you a full story that's elaborate enough with enough detail to keep you entertained. And it accomplishes all of these things in less time than your standard YouTuber intro. It manages to do all of these things while simultaneously being one of the most batshit crazy fever dreams that I have ever had the pleasure of experiencing. What is this? Then there's the shots where the art style changes, and then it makes me wonder how I got here and how I'm ever going to go back to a normal life after seeing the things that I've seen. And the soundtrack is just... mwah! Seriously, I don't think the music gets enough credit for SpongeBob being as memorable as it is. And to prove my point, I just want you to close your eyes. We're going to go on a little guided meditation. Close your eyes and just picture the Krusty Krab. You can hear the song, can't you? Well, that's it for this video since I just got copyrighted. Then you have those little Hawaiian-style numbers that play at the beginning of scenes. In the Pickles episode, SpongeBob's house is all messed up and crazy, and the music reflects that, and it's all distorted and creepy. And then you've got Mr. Krabs, who's having a meltdown over squeaky boots, and the music is making me have my own meltdown. And overall, the music does just as good a job as the animation in this show to portray the feelings and the emotions of the characters and what you're supposed to be feeling throughout the scenes. Then there's also the loads of underlying messages in the episodes that I didn't catch as a kid, like how the Pickles episode is just about gaslighting and how much harm it can cause. And then you've got the episode where SpongeBob goes to live with the jellyfish, and he's super condescending when he's leaving.
Oh, Sandy. That's exactly the response I would expect from someone who lives the sham of a life I once lived.
And he acts like he's got life all figured out just because he had his first glass of oat milk. For the last time! Nobody cares if it tastes better than regular milk, Todd. It's $9 a gallon. Then when SpongeBob goes to Jellyfish Fields and lives with the jellyfish, it's not all it was cracked up to be, and that whole episode is just a the grass is always greener on the other side situation. Like whenever you thought dating an edgy emo girl was gonna be super cool and your life would be perfect, and then you dated an edgy emo girl and turns out you weren't as into fishnets as you thought you were, and you didn't like Taking Back Sunday as much as you thought you did. And I'm not just surprised by the writing in the show. The characters are really well done. Obviously I remembered the characters from when I was a kid, but watching it now as an adult, they're really well done. And the thing that I'm really enjoying about it is they're not just one thing. Like, in a lot of shows, especially like this in that episodic format where they're just like one-off episodes and they don't build on each other, there's no room for growth for the characters. So they're just one thing. Like, they're the strong guy or the funny one. And the ones in SpongeBob aren't just one thing, and I know that sounds vague and stupid, but let me explain. SpongeBob is a fry cook that also dresses really nicely and enthusiastically loves his job, even though it comes with all the bullshit of the service industry, like cleaning bathrooms and dealing with customers. But also, while essentially working fast food, he lives in this massive house with this huge library in it. Mr. Krabs is a greedy, money-hungry cheapskate that would gladly smother himself in butter and start an OnlyFans for $1, but at the same time, he'll also spend everything he has to make those around him that he loves happy, like Mrs. Puff or his daughter Pearl. Sandy is a super intelligent scientist who's also really strong and really great at fighting. Do you see where I'm going with this? Every character is like the polar opposite of themselves, smashed into one being. Squidward is a super stuck-up, artsy type that is too cool for everything, but then he ends up playing with reef blowers, building snow forts, and eating cheap fast food cheeseburgers. Patrick is a lazy, unmotivated couch potato. But he's also a really loving and super supportive friend who will still go out and do stuff with you when you text him instead of making excuses so that he can stay home and watch anime. Karen is a computer wife, but she's also thick as heck. Anyways, you get my point. They're not just one thing. For static characters, there is some depth to them, and I think that's really rare for this type of show. I really don't think there was a point to this video. I just think SpongeBob's been really prevalent in my life recently with the Battle for Bikini Bottom game coming out and then me rewatching the show with Kylie. And maybe it is nostalgia, and maybe I do have the rose-colored glasses on, and that's why I'm enjoying it, but I am enjoying it, like, thoroughly. So if you used to enjoy it, maybe give it another try. And I'm enjoying it so much, I guess I just needed to talk about it. So thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you next time. Like whenever you thought dating an edgy emo girl was going to be super cool and your life would be perfect, and then you dated an edgy emo girl and turns out you weren't as into fishnets as you thought you were, and you didn't like Taking Back Sunday as much as you thought you did.